Afternoon, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's 11:41 West Coast time in the morning, and it is the 2nd of May, 2026 of Saturday. So much political crap and finger pointing left and right. I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. At one particular event that Trump went to, he laughed and joked about the United States Navy of the U.S. Marines invading ships, taking prisoner, capturing oil ships, pretending it's a game, and then says, "Oh, it's not a game," but he laughed and joked about the military usage as being pirates and profiting off of it. I imagine that pissed off a lot of people. When asked by poll takers these days, people trying to get an idea of what is considered political violence these days, apparently people in the United States, according to an Atlantic article, there's a quotation being posted on YouTube. According to one reporter, or the writer for this one is saying, there are three major problems when it comes to understanding political violence in America. First, Americans cannot seem to agree on what the definition of political violence. Second, people are too busy blaming their perceived political foes to see the larger problem for what it is. And third, the big one, nobody knows how to make it stop. It's been ongoing for decades. And somebody's trying to write out an article trying to examine a group named of Blood Populists. It explains how to sharpen people's understandings of political violence. It extends all over the place. We just don't know. As much as I understood concerning about history in the past, we had violence. We had violence with the Revolutionary War. We didn't have that much violence except when we were having territorial issues with the Indians, with the Native Americans of the territory. And not to mention having a little bit of a squall with French. That there were British colonists having violence going on because of territory disputes. All of this sounds jumbled as it is for Saturday, trying to make sense of everything. Because nothing is making sense even to this guy who's 60 years old and still trying to figure what the hell is going on these days. Let's get to the political violence. I'm going to bypass Trump for a few minutes. We had disagreements. We had violence concerning about expansion of territory in the past. And, when we got our colonies set up, and we still wanted to expand more. We made trades with other countries, but when it came down from the Native Americans, that's when we actually had maybe what they would call political violence, because we were going after another sovereign territory, taking over their land, if you want to call it that particular political violence. What we did to ourselves back in 1860, would that be also called political violence, since we had not just a culture class, an ideology class? What was acceptable, what wasn't acceptable? And we used weapons for it. And then we tried to do economic and restructuring of territory, but ended up with violence that has some people getting hung and shot. Really didn't stop much, did it? We have problems not just with ideology parties, with our own selves at this point over here, what we accepted and what we thought it was common and what wasn't supposed to be common. What we tried to get corrected and changed, we couldn't even do that. We fought for civil rights, we fought like hell and fought against systems that still wanted to perpetuate violence. And that would include government systems that didn't want to change as much. See, if they're trying to pin it down, there's no single time or evidence that would make it more specific. We've had it all along. We've had it ever since before the colonies. You want to go back further in human history? We've been having it ever since. Ever since we recorded on cave wall paintings for survival of things. You want to call it politics in that one too? Are they looking for 21st century? Are they looking for prior to that? Am I excusing it? No. I'm trying to find an explanation for it. In order to tell and teach people this is long before our colonies had situated themselves. Before America became America. We've had it in other cultures and other places. It didn't make America unique for us having it, but we did love our guns. And we did do hangings. We didn't do any guillotines. We just couldn't see eye to eye of what was supposed to be commonly accepted or just, neutral territory of any sort. I've got problems trying to figure this shit out. People aren't going further enough because they don't want to study. It's a lot of complication. It takes a long time to see patterns, to see stuff. And I've been seeing patterns and stuff for most of my life. To see who's in charge, actually who's responsible for all of this. I'd like it in the mirror. For myself, I would be responsible for political violence. I look in the camera and I see myself. The guy in the picture, he's responsible. My finger is pointing at the guy in the picture. And the rest of the fingers are pointed at the accusator. So, in my case, I would be responsible for political violence if I was going to be reporting on violence to be done. Or wanting it happen. I'd like to see about the gray areas, if there is any. Unfortunately, we're polarized. And yes, I do feel polarized at times. I do not celebrate or worship the MAGA, or maggot, as I call him. It has some political violence right there, his name calling. And not to mention the mistake that we voted in twice, 2016 and 2024. And other people are trying to put this guy in back in 2028. It ain't going to happen. Unless, of course, we're going to be breaking and busting up the U.S. Constitution and everything it stands for. That would be the greatest and ultimate political violence we would ever do to ourselves, is destroy ourselves for someone's ego to be fed. Want to talk about political violence? I just did that. I made accusatory remarks, accusations, while expressing a political opinion, while expressing a series of opinions. I would be responsible for political violence, according to other people, because they'll be looking at me and thinking, you want this to happen to us? No, you're the ones doing it in the first place. You're acting on stimulus. You're acting on stimuli. You're acting upon things that are making you pissed off as hell. And you want to take action. Are you going to be doing words coming out of your mouth? Are you going to be doing the farts out of your ass? Or are you going to be using your limbs for the action? All of that would be considered political violence. Violence in the heart and soul and mind. Insult the living crap out of you. But then again, you're already insulted anyway, aren't you? Zing zing. And a political violence at this point. Nobody knows how to make it stop. We must make it stop. No. We must look at the gray area. Because we have our own opinions. We can't hold ourselves at this point over here, then it's no damn good. We can make all the damn promises. We'll break them. We will break them because we've done it before. We'll do it again, and we'll keep doing it again because it is. You don't like it? That's what it is. Other people don't like it and they're freaking out. We're still doing it. So, we are too blamed. We are too busy blaming others because we can't see it in ourselves. We can't see what the larger problem is because we don't even know how to define it, look at it, or even describe it. But we can look at singular incidents and say, that's the cause of the damn thing. You know what the problem is concerning about when you're looking at something of a Japanese Zen garden? Especially when you have a stone garden, or if you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself. Get yourself a pail of water. Get yourself some small stones and a larger stone. I mean, get yourself maybe a big pail of water or something of a pool size. You'll still see the ripples effect. And start tossing them in, or if you can find yourself a lake. But see the action and reactions happening. You want to see political violence? You look at the waves before you toss the damn thing in there, and if the winds are still blowing the water, there's still action happening. Did you cause it? No, the wind is. But you're going to toss an action in there, and you're going to see the results of it. If the waves hit the ground, the sides somehow, edges, they bounce back, don't they? So you want to see a static display, you would check out a Japanese Zen garden when you see these sand sculptures of sorts. Sculptures, we would think of a 3D model, but for them, as I would look at it and interpret it, it's action and reaction and 2 or 3D effect if you're looking at it that way. Meaning that I'm seeing things and it makes people just stop and stare and try to figure the shit out. Now, if somebody was really stupid enough, they'd be ruining the damn thing. They say, but that doesn't apply to me or anything else. Ah! You know what you just did? You did the political violence. Boy, that just disturbed us, and it was disturbing me. Why? It was disturbing me. Why? What's the reason why it was disturbing you? Because it was showing something of an example, and you couldn't deal with the example, so you had to make a bigger mess. You made a bigger example of it. Your own action and your own actions on how to disturb and make political violence, and then blame the other person because it stimulated you. Yeah, when I start thinking about these things, it just comes out of my mouth. And it's more complicated and more convoluted than I can ever deal with. Oh, we are dealing with complications and we are dealing with convolutions. And can we make sense out of any of it? We can't agree on a definition for political violence. They wanted something specific out of a damn dictionary? Or thesaurus? Or did they want someone else's version of it that they can take to the bank and cash it? You got to look at yourself at this point. You got to see the political violence in yourself. And what's that? You have differences of opinions. And you express. You're allowed to express to a point. You can't do violence. What would they consider violence? Well, the physical violence they don't want. The insults are iffy. They're not quite sure how to define it, either by physical or by verbal or by both. And if we are always stuck on giving negative terminology to people, always saying the wrong, or actually the negative stuff instead of the positive stuff, would it also be considered political violence? People don't want to think. They want to know. They want to be spot on, so either they can use it and abuse somebody else or get abused by it. They don't want to start thinking about the consequences. If they did, it would be having some serious, and I mean absolute serious conversations all over the damn place. Because, and I don't want to get my budget food. I gotta deal with the damn fly in my crackers. Am I gonna be doing violence on this one? No. And I'm gonna be getting a damn bug out of this damn place. Alrighty. So, the bug is gone. Hooray. Was that political violence? No. But that was food. Insulted by roach war, by bug war, by something physical, by something doing survival, by its own doing, by doing examples of its own life versus your own life, your own lifestyle. So are you able to deal with that, or do you still have an issue over political violence? Consider your examples, what you use and how you use them. I can look up all the damn examples I can what people could use for political violence. Opinions are one thing. Confrontations, verbal confrontations, another. But also the physical ones that they really have an issue with. Because now we're telling people either you follow this way or else we're going to have an issue over it. And if we're going to have an issue with it, then I blame you, because anything else happens, we're screwed on that one, aren't we? I will blame you because you're to blame. Why? Because I said so. My ego has to be ruled over you. My sayings have to be ruled over you because I, the ego, say so. And therefore, you're against me. You're against everything else I say and believe in. So I cannot deal with you at this point over here. You are just too insistent. You cannot be what I think you are. Therefore, I must use violence on you by insulting the living crap out of you. You were insulted. Deal with it. Huh. This is what we deal with, guys. You want to see the political violence? You want to make everything a political violence? Look around. Listen. Listen to the conversations happening. Listen to the people's actions and reactions. Ask yourself, where's the stimulus? Where's the stimulus? Where's the poke? Where's the cattle prod in them? That's promoting and provoking them into it. What is the gray area, if there is any? Any grounds or any room for maneuvering? People can't think about that one when they're stuck on stupid, apparently, because they can't get out of their own damn mind, their own damn stuff. They can't get out of shit left and right because they're blaming. They have to blame. They have to blame. Did we do this to ourselves? Yeah, we did. But after we say and examine that, what do we do about it? Think about it, guys. That being said,